இன்றைக்கு கொடி அசைத்து புனித திரு தலை லாமா அவர்கள் திறந்து வைக்குமாறு அவர்களை அன்போடு கேட்டுக்கொள்கிறேன்.
I think I prefer speak Tibetan and he translate. 다 루주제 뭐야 다네 지금 전문이 대관계 배 남주 때문에 기부 망부 전세의 유디 and 녀에 들어보다 기부 담바 한 압둘 칼람 나 공기 지금 뭐네 지 초신 시베 링리야 지다 지금 미만 기다 대사 뭐네 카이라요 관리야 시부지 공신나 다 되네게니 그게 람든 세브지 여대버디 엔다 콩다 데스베 제리야다 콩리야 응원벌 뜬 콩긴 잡아라베 제수 이란층에 엔찬즈 다 데리티 잡아디 무튼이야다 짱투야지 찬즈 심슈로 게인 다 데리티 된제게 답에 하섬 됨베 셰지 잔소리야 아니 깔레 제버데 지금은 식배 문진 세부탄에 제수 일한다 응아주들 전에 잡전하게다 랭귀지 되는 곳에도 충분히 아니 나한테 그다 들때한테 도면다 관계를 취하게 그것들이 충분히 말해시라 가부총라 엔더 들도선 고초인 신이 쉬어이.
So India is a historic nation which has produced great philosophers, visionaries throughout the centuries. And in recent times, as we know, the late Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam has really left a great legacy for this nation and the world. And therefore, in his memory, you have started this Abdul Kalam Seva Ratna Award, and the certificates have been given to people who have...
I mean, his physical no longer with us, but you see, his spirit, his vision, you see, still there. So you see, those people who admire his work, you see, it is our responsibility to fulfill his wish.
So in that spirit, you have started this award, and I would like to thank you for starting this Abdul Kalam Seva Ratna Award. And now I declare the APJ Abdul Kalam Vision Carrier.
Come here.
So I give my greetings and best wishes to this APJ Abdul Kalam Vision Carrier, and I declare this open.
Oh, okay. So now I'm trying to use my broken English. Firstly, I want to express greetings to those people who received this award. So when I received Nobel Peace Prize, I express, that prize is something recognition about my small contribution. So therefore, I have to carry my commitment, non-violence, or say dialogue, or this will continuously I will carry. Otherwise, all my activities meant for receiving some award. This is wrong. So that award is simply recognition my effort. So till my death, I have to carry this work. At that time, I expressed that way. So here, now, you see, you received some sort of award, and I don't know how many money, some checks there. so you see, now you receive these things, then relax. This is wrong. You have to work even harder. You see, people, you see, put more hope. Right? So therefore, you see, you have more responsibility. Now, please carry your work continuously. I really appreciate when you see because of the receiver, right? The award, you see, each one sort of, or say they introduce or introduction. So I really very much impressed. And some, so you see, not only taking care physical, but also care mind. Wonderful, wonderful. Then I want to just to say, since 1956, Buddha Jayanti celebration, I had opportunity to visit Chennai. At that time, we call Madras. So, you see, this famous city, quite familiar in my mind. And then, 59, since I become political asylum or refugee in this great country, 59 also is, I think early 60 or late 59, again, you see, I had opportunity to come here. At that time, I remember very clearly, Raja Gopalachari there. He welcomed me like that. So since then, a few occasions I come. Now this time I noticed there's a lot of new constructions, big buildings. So I think even my own place in Kangra district, when I first came in 1960, very small town and poor village like that. Over now 55 years, it's a lot of development, constructions. So I think everywhere, all over the world, I think external modernization or these development there, including China. But equally important, you see, nice city, nice building, the people should have more peaceful mind. Joyfulness. Big house. Inside, a lot of tension, a lot of anxiety, a lot of stress. And then, not necessarily say, wonderful. Half good, half still not adequate. I mean, physical, the material development provide us physical comfort. But material values, money, I think, not genuine, usual our education, these not necessarily bring us inner peace. We can see many affluent world, materially highly developed, as well as modern education, highly developed. But people in such society, not necessarily really peaceful, happy one. So this shows we have to pay more attention about inner peace. In this respect, Bharat, India, there is real great potential to bring inner peace. Over 3,000 years, you see, this country really developed, I think, deeper awareness about our emotion, about our mind. And with that knowledge, tackle about destructive emotion. That's actually part of ancient Indian culture. So with that, the concept of ahimsa, concept of secular, with that, now today, I think India, in spite of a lot of problems, I think only country where all major world rich traditions live together harmoniously. When we see what a problem, killing in the name of religion, then we really realize, oh, this country, over 2,000 years, all major world religious traditions develop or establish this country. Of course, few cases, there are some problems in the name of different religious tradition. It's understandable. Over a billion human beings, or over a billion human beings, some mischievous people must be there. Without that, not a human society. So some mischievous people always there. So you see, due to that, it's some problem here and there. That's okay. But overall, I think India, really, example of the rest of the world, different religious tradition, in spite of different philosophy, can live together with mutual respect, mutual learning. So now, I often use it telling, when I meet people, my Indians, my friend, you see, you have this opportunity, combination, ancient rich knowledge about human emotion or human mind, these things, and modern technology, modern science combined. I think late Abdul Kalam, he's a scientist, as is that mentioned. At the same time, very spiritual minded. His background, Muslim. When he was as a president, of course, not sort of much sort of because of time or serious discussion. After he retired, there's a few occasions. I call him because I really love him. I really admire him. So you see, some occasion I visited, you see, his residence in Delhi. So one occasion, I think one picture, you see, he holding one book. You see that actually, I remember one Buddhist literature, 8th century is one great Buddhist master. You see, one of his writing. He showed me that book, and some sentences. He read some sentences, and he told me, oh, he loves these sentences, so he wants my signature on that page. I signed. So he really, I think, really carry 1,000-year-old India's tradition. So now you, Indian in general, particularly these young Indian. Usually I sort of always is mentioning, expressing, I'm making, you see the differences. I mean, two generations, generation of 20th century and generation of 21st century. So you see, my generation and some of these old people, I think people whose age, I think above 50, 60, you see, we are generation of 20th century. So our century gone. See, the people whose age below 30, 20, 15, you are 21st century generation. So past, no force can change. Future, yet to come. So there's possibility to change. So sometimes I jokingly use expressing, my generation of 20th century, I think we really create a lot of problem on this planet. So that means a lot of work to 21st century's generation. Have to solve these things. Have to repair, including environment, these things. So therefore, 21st century's generation. Now, this century is just a beginning. So, remaining yet to come. So if we really start effort now, within your lifetime, later part of 21st century, can be more peaceful, more harmony, more compassionate world. Can build. So, naturally, all these problems, essentially, man-made problem, our own creation. So logically, we also have the ability to reduce these problems, since we created, and eventually can eliminate. So now, we are same, this 20th century's generation, 21st century's generation, we are same human being. Same physical, same mind, same emotion, it's the same desire to achieve happiness, joyful life. But now problem is, my generations, they too much emphasis, we, self-centered attitude. Once we develop very strong self-centered attitude, then the division, we and they, develop. That's the basis of violence. No respect others' life, others' right. So now, 21st century, the environment tells us the world is one world. And technology also now helping us because of the reality of one world. Distance, physical distance, nothing, not important. And then global economy also brings, more sort of close each other. So that reality now telling us we need sense of oneness of 7 billion human beings. Then all rest of the 7 billion human beings are brothers, sisters. No basis to kill. A different faith, different race, different caste. These are minor, not important. Important is we are same human being. Mentally, emotionally, physically, we all have same right to achieve happy life. So since we are social animal, each individual's future entirely depends on the rest of the community. Now today's reality, the individual's life, happiness very much depend on the rest of the 7 billion human beings. So in spite of some different views, different faith, different race, we have to live together on this planet. We are same human being. So please think more. See these lines. So our education, existing education system, many of my friends, educationists and scientists, feel existing education system is not adequate. We need some sort of method to educate or to make awareness how to improve our internal quality or inner world. Now many scientists, the classical scientists always look there. Now latest real matured scientists now realize importance of inner world. So therefore, I think now this century, I think education system, I think we have to think seriously to create more complete form of education. That's taking care about our physical, similarly taking full care about our emotion. Then all these sort of destructive human activities ultimately come from our emotion. So this destructive emotion try to reduce. The effective method is try to increase constructive emotion. Our real hope is basic human nature is compassionate. There's some scientists now through experiment, now they say basic human nature is more compassionate. So that's the real sort of basis of our hope. If basic human nature is negative, then no hope, then not much use to make an effort. But since basic human nature is positive, compassionate, so there is, hope. If we really utilize human intelligence according to that basic human nature, then I think we can build happy humanity, happy world. So that I want to share with you. So I think now, my generation, now time come, relax. We create sufficient problem for them. Now you, please think seriously this matter. You should not content as a sort of way of life or way of thinking or education, just contented that. Should not remain that way. Think, seeing these problems, now how to solve? What is the ultimate causes of this problem? Think more seriously. Okay. Then you really become builder of happy 21st century. So then all these problems you can blame on us, the generation of 20th century. Okay, thank you.
His mere presence and dispels
For
the
millions
darkness
of
of
his
ignorance
followers,
like a lamp.
he is the Holy
Your
Lord,
magnanimity made us
gentle,
spellbound.
glory,
Thank you, Your Holiness,
defender
for
of
making us
faith,
realize how
ocean
important
of
it is to
wisdom.
carry on in this mission.
His message of compassion, selflessness, and peace has made him a statesman for the troubled times. He calls himself a Buddhist monk, but his deeds make him the face of peace. He is none other than His Holiness, the 14th Dalai Lama, Tenzin Gyatso. Dalai Lama are those beings who, after having attained enlightenment and liberation from rebirth, opt for reincarnation voluntarily out of compassion for others in order to serve humanity. They are called the Buddha of Compassion, or Avalokiteshvara Bodhisattva.
I come from very remote area, northeast Tibet, northeast part of Tibet. My mother, both parents, illiterate.
6 July 1935, a boy was born to a peasant family in the small village of Takster, Tibet. This child was soon recognized as the reincarnation of the previous 13th Dalai Lama at the tender age of 2, in accordance with the Tibetan tradition.
My mother, very, very kind-hearted. Really, very good mother. So therefore, we, her children, is grown up within that atmosphere. So that, I think, really makes
difference.
I think immense impact.
After being recognized as the 14th Dalai Lama, the young boy was taken to Lhasa, where in 1940, at the age of 5, he was officially installed as the spiritual leader of the people of Tibet, and his formal education started. In 1950, due to the Chinese invasion of Tibet, His Holiness was officially enthroned as the temporal leader of 6 million people of Tibet at the age of 15, making him the youngest Dalai Lama. The next 9 years, he worked hard to keep peace between the Tibetan people and Chinese army. However, the situation worsened, and at last in 1959, His Holiness, along with his retinue, fled Tibet and took exile in India, where he later set up the government of Tibet in Dharamsala, often referred to as Little Lhasa, with the sole aim of resettling and preserving cultural traditions of the Tibetan people. In his long journey of life, the Dalai Lama has spent the life of a true bodhisattva, committed to benefiting society. He has written numerous books and conducted hundreds of conferences, lectures, and workshops at major university and institutions throughout the world, discussing, engaging in wisdom, compassion, and more recently, environment sustainability. Known as an effective public speaker, he's often described as charismatic.
Usually practice is something like this. One mosquito come. Then if my mood is something quite happy, then I usually give some blood, to the mosquito. Then second time come, then more impatience. So sometimes I do like this, blow out. Then third come, then sometimes airplane, breakfast, very little. So I always carry bread in my bag. So looks as Dalai Lama's was a holy bag. But actually inside some bread.
इतने फॉलोअर्स है उसके, ईश्वर के समान उसके सामने ताकते रहते हैं। और सही धर्म पुरुष वो है जिसको ताकने से हमें ताकत प्राप्ति हो। ऐसी एक ऊर्जा निर्मित करने वाला आदमी, आपका थोड़ा भी परिचय हो जाए तो आपका हाथ ऐसे पकड़ेगा कि मानो सालों से आपके साथ उसका घनिष्ठ संबंध, परिचय, इतना स्नेह और आदर देते हैं।
His message is always one of peace and compassion for people all over the world. He has met many world leaders and has visited more than 70 countries. During his travels abroad, he has stressed the need for a better understanding of and respect among different faiths of the world.
India, 1,000 years, I think more than 3,000 years, the concept of non-violence, concept of religious harmony, these are something I feel living example on this planet.
For his outstanding achievements and relentless work on peace, he has been bestowed with the Nobel Peace Prize. For his commitment to the creed of non-violence, Norway's Nobel Committee likened him to Mahatma Gandhi when it awarded its Peace Prize in 1989.
I always consider myself as one follower of Mahatma Gandhi ji. Mahatma Gandhi, as his non-violent sort of view or non-violent practice is something very, very relevant to today's world.
Today, the Dalai Lama's role as an eminent Buddhist monk is universally acknowledged. People are drawn to his infectious personality and are increasingly responsive to his teachings and practices. His approach of reaching out the common ground for all religions, the quest for happiness, definitely makes him the greatest spiritual leader of our time. For as long as space endures, and for as long as living beings remain, until then may I too abide to dispel the misery of the world.
That was a documentary